Right, good afternoon. Hopefully you can hear me. Just going to connect myself up. Can I hear myself? Yes, I can. That's good. And yeah, unlike last time and the time before that, because I think this is my third one, I'm going to play you some actual proper songs. Just check the old tuning. So I put a new set of strings on this morning, which what's the first new set of strings of the year actually, because gigging has not exactly been happening much this year, and the only gigs I have done I was playing electric. Anyway, that seems to work. You might know this one. Sitting in the morning sun, I look into the sky, walking in the memory of another broken life, sheltered in the shadow of another passing face, lying in the meadow, it's another perfect day, looking for new spaces, looking for a dream. Walking on a sunny beach isn't what it seems. Crying in your sleep, waiting for your love to come over me. Sitting in a room, your mind splits in two, thinking of the questions you have the answers to, counting all the days, a time you thought was yours. Nothing is guaranteed past the open door. If I look forward in your eyes, secrets come out with some lies, taking its fuel from your soul, coming home to be whole, to be whole, to behold. Right, hopefully that worked. I'm just going to have a little look on my phone and make sure everything's working. That's good. Well, hopefully that didn't come across too shabbily. I haven't played that song for a very, very long time. If you didn't know that tune, that was called To Behold. It was the first song that was ever released under the name of Secrets for September. It was a single originally, and then it went on to our first EP, and it's been in the band's set ever since. But I kind of wrote that about 10 years ago. Let's see who's online. Oh, lots of people are online. Hello, everybody. Hope you all having a fine weekend. It's quite a nice sunny day out there, so I wasn't really expecting anybody to be watching. But thank you for joining me. I'm going to take these headphones off because that's better. I have to have the headphones on because obviously I'm doing a bit of live looping with the guitar and I need to hear what I'm doing, and I don't have monitors or speakers or anything. Hopefully the sound is okay for you. I've got a new little setup here using a mixer and a few other bits and bobs, and hopefully it's all working. Who's that about then? Oh, good. Oh, that sounded okay. Oh, that's good. Very, very happy about that. Live video comments, anything there? Nothing there yet, but not to worry. Yeah, so it's the middle of summer. I came up on my timeline that I would have probably been thinking about getting ready for the Cropredy Festival, which is like the festival Fairport Convention organised every year that I've been going to for about the last 7 or 8, and I'll be thinking about that now. I would have probably done a few little festival-y type gigs and a few solo things, and of course nothing's happening this year. But I've kind of got used to it now, and it's funny, I've been talking to a few of my musician friends, and everybody's saying it's actually, well, right, for the ones that aren't earning any money, it's pretty dire, but it's also quite nice to actually not have to worry about, booking shows and travelling around and things, and you can just like have a break from it all. I mean, I've spent 28 years constantly writing, recording, playing, touring, doing stuff on top of a day job, and this is the first break I've ever had, so it's been quite nice. And talking of anniversaries, this week in 1995, 25 years ago, me and Andrew Rachel started recording our first album as All Living Fear. This is the CD here. It's called The Widow's Blame. It's got 9 songs on it, and it was recorded in the summer room of my parents' house. My mum and dad had gone away for a week, which was very handy, and me and Andy camped out for a week and we recorded the album. I think we actually started round about the 12th, about 8th or 9th we started recording. Then I went away for a weekend because there was a festival in London called the Necromantic Encounters at the Marquee, which was a 2-day goth weekend, and it was absolutely brilliant fun. And then we finished off the album, and then on the last 2 days, which was a Friday and a Saturday, Tim Chandler, who some of you know from a band called Pretentious Moi, he's also he was in a band called Sins of the Flesh, and he plays in Manuscript and a million other bands. He came down and helped mix the album, and it was done. And it was one of those things where we knew exactly what songs we wanted to put on it. We knew more or less the track order. In fact, I think we mixed it down in track order. And it was like any band's first album. We just picked the best songs that we did live. We'd already made an EP, so we couldn't put all of that on it. We put one of those songs on. But yeah, and it was a very simple way of recording. We didn't have there was no computers involved at all. We used an 8-track tape machine that I borrowed from where I work. It was on 1-inch tape, so it was very good sound quality. We had a basic mixer, not even as elaborate as the one I'm using for this live stream. It was just the mixer that I had on my cassette 6-track machine. 1 effects unit, 1 microphone that I think we used to record everything with. And that was it. And that was our first album. And, I'm really proud of this because, the songs the songs on this album are still the core of the All Living Fear live repertoire. I mean, we always play songs like No One But You, Widow's Blame, Crimson. Last season went back into the set. So, and as well as making the CD, we also made the cassette version. And I found this up in the loft at my mum's the other day, where I keep a lot of things. And yeah, that's the original inlay card, which was made by printing the text onto a piece of clear plastic, going into a print shop and photocopying that picture, of which the shop that I first went to make a copy of it told me I couldn't because I was infringing copyright. This picture was actually drawn by Andy's mum. And I said, well, this CD is me. It's got my name written on it. And I had to go to another shop to get them to do a copy. So they did like a laser copy of that. I then got the plastic, put it on top of the laser copy, and took it to another print shop. And they then colour printed it. And that's how we made the inlay card. So, you know, it was very... it's very DIY back in those days. But anyway, that was the first album. And... you know, I think you always, when you're a musician and you make records and things, the first album is always the one that you kind of think of as being the most important in some ways. And you know, that set us off on our way, and it sold out within, you know, we had no distribution deal. The only shops that stocked our stuff was Resurrection in London and Nightbreed Mail Order in Nottingham, but they didn't sell that many, but Resurrection did. But everything else was sold at gigs, and we got rid of the first pressing within a couple of years. So yeah, it did all right. Anyway, today is a new release day because I've put out a new song, but it's not that new. It's a song me and Paul wrote called "Flaming Heart" that we did about it's 22 years ago now. But one of the gigs that I didn't do this year was the Tavistock Edge Festival, which I was supposed to be playing. I've played it for the last 3 years. It's been very good fun. And they decided to do a CD instead of... sorry, I'm just adjusting my tuner. They decided to do a CD, and I was asked if I would contribute a song, and I said, yeah, sure, no problem. And I had an idea of revisiting this song because I always liked it, and when we released it, me and Paul were the only people that seemed to like it, and nobody else did. Not quite sure why. It's one of the things, if you come to a gig, you can ask Martin, because he was the chief moaner on that one. And anyway, I kind of thought, well, it would probably work quite well as an acoustic song. And so I did a recording of it. I sent it to them. And they've made this little CD. If you go onto the internet and look up Tavistock Edge Festival, it's a lovely little sort of 16-track CD. And it's only a couple of pounds. And I think you can probably buy it locally as well. But it's on there. And that's the only physical release that you'll find of this track. But I did decide to do a digital version. Let's pop these on. Can I hear myself? Yeah. I did decide to do like a digital version because I just thought it's there. Why not put it out there? So anyway, I'm going to play this song for you, and I hope you like it. I'm just going to pop the old reverb back on. Hello. Okay, so this song is called Flaming Heart. Helps if I turn the guitar on, doesn't it? That's better. I'm broken down, full of woe. feeling I've no place to go. Holy houses bring me from my bourbon sunshine, beat me up and interrupt my flow. That flaming heart called love brings me to my knee and I pray. That flaming heart called love leads me to another day, to another day. Sidewalk slips along beneath my feet. Rain dries up and shimmers in the heat. Cars drive by with smiling faces in their window, walking down the hill to Sunset Street. That flaming heart called love brings me to my knee and I pray now. That flaming heart called love leads me to another day, to another day. There you go. Turn that off. So yeah, that was a Flaming Heart, which is a song that again I wrote in 1998 with my friend Paul Rowe. And if you were paying attention, you might have heard some noises coming from here that sort of went. And you might be thinking, isn't that one of those computers that we used to have at school? And the answer would be, for a lot of people who are watching this, yes, this is a BBC Micro. It is the computer that I had at primary school. It was the first computer I owned. My parents got me one for schoolwork, only to find that when I started secondary school in 1984, that my school didn't have any BBC Micros. In fact, they had a computer room full of computers called a RM Nimbus system, and it was basically a folly for the maths teachers to mess about, because they didn't actually do any computing lessons at all at that school whatsoever. They just had a room full of computers that nobody knew how they worked. Although, that being said, my English teacher and form teacher did have a BBC, and he had software that worked on it, like WordWise. You could actually type things and print it out. Anyway, I got this book, and it's called Making Music on the BBC Micro Computer. And I wish I had this when I was like 12, because you could do this. And that would have been amazing, because when I was 12, I didn't have any keyboards, any synthesizers at all. I had a couple of guitars and a fuzz box, and that was pretty much it. And yeah, it's got some effects added to it. If I just press these buttons here, this is the basic noise it makes. And it just sounds like a, it sounds a bit dull, but if you had some echo and some chorus, it can sound quite good. Anyway, in this book, it's got different little programs, and there's this one program here, and that's all it is. It's just that little program, and it makes these noises. And I programmed it in because I'd fixed this earlier in the week because it was a bit faulty, and I thought I'm going to try one of these programs out of this book, which I bought this not that long ago, and I thought, well, I'm going to try one out, and it worked, and I was just thought, it's amazing. It's like this old bit of kit that, I played Chucky Egg on, a game called Hunchback. There was Elite, but that was just too complicated. There was Revs, which was a driving game, but I just used to like playing Frogger and Hunchback and Chucky Egg. And just to be able to make it do something musical, I'm still quite, was it 37 years since I first got one. I finally actually got it to make a noise and do something interesting. So I'm very pleased with this indeed. And I've got that's my mum's old television that she used to have in the kitchen. And I nabbed that because I bought her a flat screen. Well, she had my old flat screen. Anyway, telly of the era to go with the computer. Anyway, let's see what people are doing. Computers weren't invented when I was at school. I don't believe that, actually. I'm sure there were plenty around. Andrew's here. Hi, buddy. I was in the pub with him last night talking about this. Hello, Julie, watching. Oh, this is good. There's a few of you watching now. This is great. This is brilliant. So I got oh dear, pardon me. I didn't know what to really talk about today because it's nice when you got like a topic in mind. When I used to do my radio thing, it was like 40 minutes, and once you played 3 songs, you only got about 20 minutes left for chat, and it'd be what's going on in the world of music, or what's happening, and that obviously there's not much happening at the moment. I think even people who write are just not really thinking, I'm going to write something, because when you write something, the final product normally, you write something, you record it, you release it, and you perform it live. And if that end bit isn't there, then the bits that come before it, they become less interesting, I think. And I've had some of I've had a bit of a writer's block for about 4 years now. and I've not really written anything, only little sketches of things, but I seem to have a lot of those, so I'm going to try and do something without the end goal of playing it live. So in other words, I'm going to write a load of music that you just wouldn't play live because it would be too difficult, especially when it's just me. Anyway, someone that has released something is a good friend of mine, and it's this, which I think it came out about a week, 10 days ago, and it's just written on the cover. It just says "Two Ravens," and you take it out of its sleeve and you look at the back, and in very small writing, composed and performed by Roger O'Donnell, who is a very good friend of mine. And in fact, if you look at the label of the record, the label just says Two Ravens, nothing else. And I like that because he's put out this album and it's purely about the music contained within the album. It's not about who's made it, where it was recorded, or anything else. It's purely about the music, and it is a gorgeous piece of work. There's 8 tracks on it. He's got a string quartet on there, piano and voice, and it's a great record. He's put a lot of effort into this. I think it took him about 4 years to finish it off. And if you want to hear some really nice, beautifully crafted music, then Roger O'Donnell's Two Ravens album, I thoroughly recommend. And there is a CD version as well, which hopefully he's going to send me one. Because he did say to me, "Oh, I'd have given you a copy, mate," but I just went out and bought it because I kind of think if someone's gone to the effort of making a piece of art, then, I'd support everyone in the chain. Because, you buy a record, you're supporting the shopkeeper who owns the shop. I bought that from an independent shop. I did buy it mail order because there's nowhere where I live that I could just walk in and buy a copy. Then there's the distributor who sends the records out to the shops. They employ people. And, all right, a lot of people say, well, why don't you do direct sales? Why do you use a distributor? But the thing is, if you go through a distributor, they get your stuff out there to a wider audience. They get it into all the independent shops. They get it onto Amazon and all the other mail order places. But if you want to be able to walk in a shop and find your record, then you've got to have someone that gets it there. So distributors are very, very important. And while there's not a lot of new product around, they're having a tough time as well, same as everyone else. I mean, I was talking about my first album. We didn't have a distributor for that, but the second one we did. We went through Plastic Head via our friends at Resurrection Records, and we sold twice as many CDs in the same amount of time. So, that helps. And then you've got the people that make the record, the pressing plant, the manufacturing, you're supporting them because it's a physical product. And then, of course, you're supporting the artist as well, because the artist will always make more money on a physical product than they will through streaming or, YouTube, Spotify, whatever. Physical product or direct digital sale. And by that, really, we're talking about Bandcamp predominantly, because they give most of the money that you pay go straight to the artist. They take a small commission, and that's certainly supported an awful lot of independent artists over the last 10 years that they've been around, but certainly in the last 6 months it certainly helped a lot of people. Right, let's just go and see I haven't bored you too much. No, people are still watching, not as many as they were, but that's understandable because it's lovely and sunny outside. Anyway, I'm just going to look on the other one, see if anyone Right, I'm going to play you another song now, and I might even do a bit more of that as well. I don't know. As I said, I never thought I would do a sort of a live gig in the from the living room, because everybody else was doing it, and I thought, well, but now that people stopped doing that now, and people are going out and playing sort of small open air shows and things. And after this song, I might tell you about a gig that I am actually going to be doing soon. But in the meantime, I'll play you an old favourite that I like doing. Is calling my face onto the floor. In a world that got me here, slumped against the door. The world is a funny place, upside down. Gives a great perspective when you're halfway down. Looking at my prospects pints of stinking air, knowing that I'll never get the chance to walk away. And there's been a running joke, but the laughs I'll try. Look to me to guide you. Just go on and say goodbye. Say goodbye. Faces are screaming against my tired mind. There's no rush in such a mess. I wandered on just like the blind to a place that will trouble me less. The world is laughing upside down. Your world is cracking upside down. Looking at my prospects through a pint of stinking ale, knowing I'll never get the chance to walk away. And there's been a running joke, the laugh I'll try. Don't look to me to guide you. Just go on and say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. There you go. That was a song called Upside Down, which, if you've ever seen me play, I nearly always play my set. And again, that was another song that was originally part of the Secrets of September repertoire, from the first incarnation of the band when Marina was the singer, and we wrote that song together. And yeah, it's a song that's kind of been with me for a long time. Right, let's see what people are saying. Is there anybody out there still watching, or was that song just too loud? Too loud, too long? Well, can't see anything on here at the moment, so I don't know why I'm not seeing anything, because they were all there a moment ago. Here we go. Listening in the garden with a glass of prosecco. Just a glass, not a bottle. I don't know. We seem to like these longish tunes. So maybe I might do another in a bit. Yeah. So how is everybody out there? What are you all up to on this fine sunny day? And it is a very sunny day. I'm looking out the window. I'm a big fan of my bird feeders I keep in my garden. Occasionally, I post old videos of the birds in the garden. If I look out the window now, I can see a few flapping about. It's a shame I haven't got more than one camera, because I could, you could not look at me and watch the birds in the garden instead, because they're generally more exciting. But I only have the one camera, so that's all I can do. What else was I going to mention today? I've talked about that. Oh yeah. I'm kind of. I tried something as an experiment yesterday involving this thing. Remember the thing that goes. And there's this thing that young people use on their phones called TikTok, and I've glanced at it and I thought it was an absolute pile of rubbish. But a friend of mine has got one, and he's doing up a car. He's doing a project rebuilding a car, and he's put some videos on that, and he's got like 17 million views in a couple of days, just these shots of his car. So I thought, as an experiment, well, I'll have a bit of that. So I set one up, and it's called Retro Tech UK. And if you do use such a program, then yeah, and I did a little video of this thing, like 10 seconds of, this is the BBC Micro, it makes silly noises if you hit the keys. And like 500 people have watched it, and I just thought that's just really insane that people spend their life sat there on their phone watching absolute rubbish, rather than, being outside on a nice day like today, or, listening to music, like proper music, not 30-second segments. And I think it's almost like a dying art now, that anything that involves your attention for more than 20 seconds or a minute is kind of seen as old-fashioned. And I kind of wonder if in the future there'll be less interest in, things like, classical concerts where, you've got a piece of music that lasts maybe an hour or two, or it's split into movements. But are people actually going to have that attention span to sit there and watch something for that long, when they're not, I don't have the world's longest attention span, and if I'm watching a film or something, then I will probably, pause it every 45 minutes to, make a cup of tea or go to the loo or whatever. But yeah, it's a bizarre thing that, the internet and social media and stuff is it's just full of rubbish. It's absolutely full of rubbish. And this TikTok thing, it is the septic tank of everything that is wrong on the internet. And I just couldn't fathom how crap it was. And so, yeah, anyway, I put up this silly little technology video. And honestly, it's 10 seconds long, and I just did it as an experiment. And people watch, 500 people watched it, but they don't watch, there could be a great musician playing a great piece of music on YouTube, might only get 100 views. It's baffling me. It's absolutely baffling. I'm hiding away from the sun and the heat. It's too much for me. Yeah, well, that's a fair point. Oh, Kevin Shepherd, I'm just doing my fanzine listening to you. See, fanzines, that's such a great thing. I mean, there's not too many around these days, but my original band, All Living Fear, our entire career was built on fanzines. If you don't know what a fanzine is, it is effectively, it's a magazine put together by fans of music. Generally, they're genre specific. I mean, they started out in the 70s. I mean, there probably were ones beforehand, but the punk era kind of brought us the original fanzines, the most famous one being one called Sniffing Glue. Although I don't actually know anybody that ever bought a copy of it, but there's reprints online and people talk about it to this day. I think it's probably more of a London thing. But the sort of goth music fanzines like Low Life, Bats and Red Velvet, Naked Truth, they were what our career was built on, because you'd release something. It might be a demo cassette, it might be a CD, it might be some gigs or whatever. It would get a review in those fanzines, and you would sell product off the back of those reviews. Literally, as soon as a new Bats and Red Velvet came out, the early ones, they were just a photocopied fanzine. Some of it typed, some of it handwritten, put together with a lot of passion and a lot of dedication. And the people that bought it also had a lot of passion and dedication into the music they were into. They'd read reviews. If they liked what they read, they would buy something. And when we made our first releases, our first cassettes, I mean, we didn't know if we'd sell any or not. And, a fanzine would come out and there'd be a load of checks in the post literally within about 3 days later of people buying stuff. So, that was real. You didn't need any of this social media back then. All you needed was, you want to know what gigs were happening. You bought the NME and the Melody Maker, and they listed every gig that was happening that week. If you didn't send your gigs off to the NME and Melody Maker, which was free, then you were stupid, because then people probably wouldn't turn up. But if they saw it in the listings, they would go. And that's what we did. And there was none of this. I mean, I've bought some tickets for a couple of concerts next year, and they're happening in December 2021. And the tickets went on sale last week. I mean, nothing was ever done that far in advance. Absolutely nothing. And I was talking, a friend of mine was made a very good point on Facebook. It's like all these big festivals and events that are being postponed till next year, some might well be postponed to the year after. The problem you've got with, as I see it, with particularly bands aimed at younger people, teenagers, your Billie Eilishes of this world, is that they might not be into that act in 2 years' time. I mean, when we were teenagers, you'd be into Duran Duran 1 minute, then you might be into Echo and the Bunnymen next. People when they're younger, the bands they like, they change very, very quickly. And are you going to wait for a band that you like now, who originally advertised a gig for 6 months' time, for that gig to then be postponed by a year or possibly 2? 2.5 years later, you're not even going to want to go. So I kind of think it's almost like we need to get back to a bit more of, a band wants to go on tour, they think about it, they book a load of dates for like 6 weeks after they announce it, and then they do it. And I think, personally, more stuff might happen like that. I think this whole everything happening so far in advance, it's going to get to the point where, actually, no, I'm not going to buy a ticket for something in 2 years' time, because in 2 years' time you might not even be living where you live now. You might be the other side of the country, so you're not going to go to a local show. I don't know. I'm rambling now, but it was just a thought. Anyway, I'd be interested to know if any of you think Beethoven's Ninth Symphony is long, and I can listen to music that lasts more than an hour. Yep, so can I, and I'm glad I do. Yeah, let's see if there's any on the other one. Hold on a second. So I'm using my my mobile phone for this, obviously. In fact, it's interesting. Yeah, give us a shout how you're watching this. I'm interested to see if you're, watching this on a phone, or if you're watching on a tablet, or if you're watching on a computer, or if you've got some way of hooking up Facebook to your TV. Because that's one thing I wish I used to be able to do that on my old Blu-ray players. I could watch Facebook videos on my telly. Can't do that anymore. And it's a bit of a faff otherwise. Oh, look, there's some comments on here I haven't seen. Chris Topley, sounds good, Matt. Thank you, Chris. Susie, nice to see you. Great song. Michael Webb. Michael's one of my best mates in the world. Yeah, nice use of the beeb. I remember when I was round his house. Oh, crumbs. Was it round? It probably was around the time we were making the album, actually. Right, just before. And he had an Atari ST, and we had this idea of, let's try and stick the MIDI stuff, the keyboards and things, into the ST. And then if we can get his ST, he wasn't in the band at the time, but Mike's always been a friend of the band, and obviously he's back in the band now. And I had this idea, well, if I could get all the keyboards and all the drum machines programmed into his Atari, we could only use 2 tracks on the tape, and then that way we had more space for extra guitars, vocal overdubs and stuff like that. And we tried it, and I think the computer crashed about 5 times, so we gave up in the end and just stuck to what was programmed into the drum machine, which on hindsight is probably the... sounds was better, Shiva. Yeah, but the problem was, for me, when I started, I'm pretty sure by the early 90s sounds had already gone pop, as in disappeared rather than pop music. And I think when we started gigging in 92, and our heyday, I suppose, was the mid-90s, and yeah, it was Enemy and Melody Maker. I don't think full old Git mode. Yes, thank you, Webby. Oh, someone else has made a comment now. What was this? Woo-hoo. Galaxy Tab. Oh, that's a tablet, isn't it? I had a tablet, and it was an HP one, and a friend of mine, she also had the same tablet, and they both died with the same fault within about a week of each other. So I've always been a bit watching on the laptop, mobile, watching on my phone, computer, TV. Oh, you got it on TV. That's cool. Yeah, because some of the stuff I'm doing, because I've got my pedals and I've been looping and stuff, is those some sort of nice bassy noises. So if you do watch this again on catch up, it's always worth listening on a pair of headphones or something, because it sounds a bit better. Anyway, what's the time? Because I don't want to take up everyone's time today. It's not too bad. I'll do you another song, I think. I don't know what song I'm going to do. Ooh, lots of echo. Is this guitar still in tune? Not quite. Yeah, because when I took the guitar out this morning, because I've been recording and things with it, and because it's a nice sunny day, I had the doors open, and then I realised how absolutely rusty and filthy the strings were on this guitar, because I haven't... Because this... Yes, I haven't played a gig for ages, and I don't think I've gigged with this guitar for a little while anyway, because I normally use my black Yamaha. And anyway, this is one of mine. I see you every day, in every way. I see you, I feel you, I feel for you. Easy to speak, so hard to reply. The fear of rejection imploding your view. Discovering people new, leave the old God behind, expecting reflections, cover up your eyes. in every way. Well, I see you, I feel you, I feel for you. If you think for a moment, bad things from the past, moments like this, never to reprise. Everything is better now, life can build you strong. Never settle for second best, you're worth more than this. Well, I see you every day, in every way. Well, I see you, I feel you, I feel for you, I feel for you, I feel for you. I feel for you, I feel for you, I feel for you every day. I feel for you, I feel for you. There you go, that was a song called I Feel You, which I've recorded twice. It's on my solo album, Still Thinking, Still Dreaming, which you can acquire yourself of a CD of it, or a digital download, or you can stream it on the interweb on all those streaming platforms that doesn't really pay you any money, but you have to be on there anyway. Anyway, I've got a gig. A proper gig, yes. It's the 29th, I think it is, of August. It's the Exeter Street Arts Festival. I'm double check that date. I'm pretty sure it's the 29th. And there's different open air, socially distanced performance areas all around Exeter. And I'm on very, very early. I'm the first person on at the St Sidwell's Centre stage, which is, in other words, it's in the graveyard. Yep, it's in a graveyard. It's not the first time I've played in the graveyard, and there was actually some response from people in there, so I don't know whether I was playing just to the dead bodies or there were non-dead people there as well. I think, you can be dead or alive to attend, which is rather nice. Anyway, yes, Exeter Street Arts Festival on the 29th, I think it is, of August. It's all over Facebook anyway. And I'm on at 10 o'clock in the morning. So if you fancy popping along and listening to me do some songs, I can't really think that there'll be any other gigs happening for me other than that. So it should be a good little one-off, little acoustic open air thing. And if the weather's going to be like today, then it'll be fantastic. I should actually have been seeing Damien Wilson and Adam Wakeman tonight. They were supposed to be playing in St Austell in Cornwall I think they tried to get a venue that was open air, and anyway, for whatever reason, it's been cancelled. So no gig for me to go to tonight, but hopefully they'll be back in the area when things get a bit more back to what they should be. I would say normal, but that's not something. It's a really weird word now, because we don't know if things will get back to normal or not. I'm listening through my personal monitors. Quality. Yes. Anyway, I think I'll probably think about wrapping things up now, because that's the way it is. I'm going to go and just check the old messages on here. Where's the other one? I was slightly laughing during that song, because I was reading the comment that Webby left saying full old git mode, and I don't know why. I think it's quite true that some of us have been in a full old git mode for a very, very long time, and I think I probably was from when I was aged about 14. I think once Stock Aitken and Waterman came along, I became an old git then, thinking, this isn't proper music, this is rubbish. So anyway, I'll think about wrapping up now. I suppose I could do one more song. I don't know what song to do, though. What do you suggest? Any requests from the interweb? If there is, I'll do it. I'm not seeing any at the moment. Good luck with the gig. That certainly takes the saying of the graveyard shift. Yes. Yeah, I think when we played there, because when I did it before, it wasn't last year, because I couldn't do it last year because I was rehearsing with Mike Westbrook. But talking of Mike Westbrook, the new Westbrook album that I mentioned about when I did one of these the first time, Earth Felt the Wound, that is now out. And there's a song on there called Bathing Bells and Fiscal Analysts, and that's got my first solo. It's my first proper guitar solo on a Westbrook release on Kate's album. He's on that, so if you look up Kate Westbrook Granite Band, it's on the streaming sites, but it's much better to buy the album, really. It's on there, so have a listen to that. I'm going to do one more song. I don't know what I'm going to do, though. What shall I do? I know what I'll do. And I can't remember what key I normally do it in. I'll try in... Okay, this is a song I wrote a very, very long time ago. In this world in which we live in, this place, I look forward tomorrow, when I look into the sky, I see 1,000 planes, not anymore, flying by. Will you still love me? Will you still need me? Will you still want me tomorrow? Will you still need me when you're sad and lonely? Will you still want me tomorrow? When I look into the sky, I see 1,000 planes go flying by. When I look into your eyes, I see the pain behind your lies. Will you still want me? Will you still need me? Will you still love me tomorrow? Will you still want me when you're sad and lonely? Will you still love me tomorrow? see 1,000 planes go flying, flying by. When I look into your eyes, I see the pain, I see the pain behind your lies. Will you still love me? Will you still need me? Will you still hold me tomorrow? Will you still need me when you're alone? Will you still love me tomorrow? There you go. That was tomorrow, and thank you very much for listening to my my little chit chat and some music and things. I don't know when I'll do this again. I might do it next month. Maybe even do it on my birthday. That's on a Sunday this year. Who knows? But anyway, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. I'm going to spend the rest of the day tidying up this mess, because if you can see what's in front of me, there are cables and wires and stuff everywhere. There's even a tower of plastic tubs that contain fat balls for the wild birds that's holding my light that you can hopefully see me with. But yeah, it's been fun today. I was really nervous about doing any kind of sort of actual live online gig thing because I kind of didn't think I had the confidence to do it, but I've really enjoyed doing it. So yeah, glad that you seem to like it. Yeah, so maybe I'll do one next month, because I can't see that there's going to be anything else happening. I will try and film the gig that I'm doing in Exeter at the end of August, so I might put some of that up as well. I won't Facebook Live it because it might be usually it's a little bit windy, and if you're using phones and things, and the sound's a bit rubbish. So I'd rather do it where you can actually hear it properly. But yeah, that's it from me. Thank you for watching and listening. This will be kept on the Facebook page, and I will also pop this one up on YouTube as well. So if you have missed it or you want to watch it on your telly or whatever, then it should be there as well. But yeah, please tell your friends about this sort of stuff that I'm doing. If you and please share my Spotify stuff as well, because I'm trying to get. It's like with all these sort of online things, the more people that follow you, the more people that know about it, then it kind of snowballs a bit. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be like my mate with his 17 million people looking at his car that he's doing up, but to have some people taking an interest, it always makes me makes me happy. So yeah, thanks very much, and I will go over to the computer over the other side of the room and hit the stop button. So thank you very much.